Have you ever dreamed of having a pet so unique and adorable that people would stop and stare the moment they saw it? We all know about dogs, cats, parrots, and hamsters. They're classic, they're lovely, but there is a whole universe of animals out there waiting to surprise you. And here's the best part. Many of them are completely legal to own. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through the 15 cutest pets you can legally bring into your life. Stay with me until the end because the last one will blow your mind. Think about it. Imagine walking into your living room and being greeted by a tiny creature that looks like it belongs in a cartoon, yet it's alive, it's real, and it's yours. These animals aren't just unusual. They're fascinating, fun, and packed with personality. But they also come with stories, quirks, and little secrets that make them even more lovable. By the time we reach the last pet, you'll be tempted to rethink everything you thought you knew about companionship. Let's start with the hedgehog. Not the spiky, intimidating animal you picture rolling up in cartoons, but the tiny palm-sized hedgehog that has become a sensation in recent years. Their small bodies are covered in quills, but don't let that scare you. Once they feel comfortable, they relax and reveal their curious little faces. Imagine holding one in your hand, its nose twitching, its eyes sparkling with curiosity. Hedgehogs are legal in many regions, and their diet is straightforward. They're quiet, low maintenance, and the level of cuteness is simply off the charts. Now let's talk about hamsters, but not just any hamster. The Syrian hamster deserves the spotlight. Larger than dwarf hamsters, calm enough to handle, and full of charm, the Syrian hamster is basically a ball of fluff with legs. Do you know how they became popular? It started with a small family of wild hamsters discovered in the deserts of Syria. From there, they traveled the world, capturing hearts everywhere. Watching a hamster run endlessly on a wheel is one of those simple joys that can distract you for minutes without you realizing how much time has passed. If you prefer something fluffier, let me introduce you to rabbits. Yes, they're common, but don't underestimate their variety. The lionhead rabbit, for example, with its mane of fur surrounding its head, looks like a miniature lion in bunny form. Rabbits are incredibly photogenic, quiet, and affectionate. They thrive when you give them attention. And if you've ever seen pictures of rabbits dressed in tiny clothes going viral online, you already know how irresistible they can be. Imagine a soft, warm creature cuddled up next to you, its ears twitching at every sound. But maybe you want a pet that feels like a little community? Enter guinea pigs. These small rodents are far more social than most people realize. They squeak, chirp, and whistle in ways that sound like they're holding conversations with you. In fact, some guinea pig owners swear that their pets greet them with unique sounds every time they enter the room. They're happiest when living in pairs or groups, which means having guinea pigs is like running a cheerful choir in your own home. Now, let's crank up the energy. Ferrets are unlike anything else. They're long, slender, and endlessly playful. Picture a creature with the curiosity of a cat, the playfulness of a puppy, and the energy of a squirrel. That's a ferret. Believe it or not, ferrets were domesticated centuries ago in Europe to help humans hunt rabbits. Today, they're mischievous companions who love to explore and get into everything. Owning a ferret means constant entertainment. They're the kind of pet that turns ordinary moments into spontaneous adventures. Bird lovers, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Cockatiels are one of the most charming bird species you can own. With their iconic crests and cheerful personalities, cockatiels are masters at bonding with humans. They whistle, they mimic, they ride on your shoulder like loyal friends. Some even get jealous if you give attention to someone else. These birds can live for decades, which means they're not just pets. They're lifelong companions. And while we're talking about birds, parakeets deserve a mention. Brightly colored, cheerful, and incredibly social, parakeets can transform any home into a lively environment. Some parakeets even learn to mimic words and phrases, making them miniature parrots with the personality to match. They're small, easy to care for, and their playful antics will keep you entertained daily. Let's shift to the reptile world. Turtles are ancient creatures, and keeping one as a pet is like having a piece of history in your home. They're calm, low maintenance, and incredibly resilient. Many turtles live for decades, sometimes even longer than their owners. Think about that. A pet that becomes part of your family's legacy, quietly existing, moving at its own pace, teaching patience and endurance. Every turtle has a distinct personality. Some are explorers, others are shy, but all are fascinating to observe. Speaking of reptiles, have you ever heard of the leopard gecko? At first, the idea of owning a lizard might sound intimidating, but the leopard gecko breaks every stereotype. Small, gentle, and covered in spotted patterns that look like miniature leopards, these creatures are friendly and curious. Their giant eyes make them look like characters drawn by animators, and they're surprisingly easy to care for. Owning one is like having a little piece of the exotic world right in your living room. For those who want something small and soothing, betta fish are hard to beat. Known for their vibrant colors and flowing fins, bettas are living art. Place one in a small aquarium on your desk, and suddenly your workspace becomes a tranquil sanctuary. Did you know betta fish were once used in competitions in Thailand? Today, they're admired for their beauty and calm presence. Watching a betta glide gracefully through the water is like meditating. Now, let's dive into something even more unusual. Axolotls, often called the smiling salamander. These amphibians look like permanent cartoon characters with their little frills and constant grins, but they're not just cute. Axolotls are biological marvels because they can regenerate limbs, parts of their heart, and even portions of their brain. Owning an axolotl is like having a superhero pet. They live in water, they're calm, and they add a sense of wonder to any home. Let's talk about chinchillas. If you thought rabbits were soft, wait until you touch a chinchilla. Their fur is the densest of any land animal. It's so thick that parasites can't survive in it. Imagine a living, breathing cloud that hops around your house. That's a chinchilla. They're nocturnal, which means they're most active at night, and they require dust baths instead of water. Watching a chinchilla roll happily in dust is one of those oddly satisfying sights you will never forget. Of course, we can't leave out the classics. Dogs and cats are still at the top of the list of beloved pets. But within those categories, some breeds are almost too cute to believe. Persian cats, with their flat faces and luxurious fur, or Spitz dogs, which look like foxes made of fluff. These animals are proof that even the most familiar pets still have the power to captivate us. And finally, the 15th spot goes to an animal that might surprise you: ducks. That's right. Ducks can be kept as pets in many places, and they're far more affectionate than most people realize. They waddle after their owners, quack for attention, and develop strong bonds. Imagine opening your door and seeing a little duckling following you around the house. It's not a scene from a children's book. It's reality, and it's legal. So, after hearing about these 15 adorable pets, which one captured your heart the most? The hedgehog that curls into a ball? The playful ferret that never stops exploring? The smiling axolotl that looks like it belongs in a fantasy story? Or maybe the loyal duck that insists on being your feathered shadow. The truth is, each of these animals has its own magic. Each one offers a unique kind of companionship. If you enjoyed this journey, let me know which pet you'd choose in the comments. Share this with someone who loves animals as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe, because the world of fascinating pets is endless, and the next story might just introduce you to your future companion.